Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And if you're a regular viewer of my channel, I have to apologize. The quality of the picture somewhat lesser than normal. Let me just straighten that up. Oh, that's even better. Somewhat lesser than normal. I am using my laptop as opposed to my desktop, which has a better camera in it. I could just go and buy another camera and plug it into this. At least I'm using my good microphone, right? At least that's happening. But I'm doing it because I've got all these updates going on my computer and it keeps freezing up and doing stuff. So I'm recording over here because I want to record this review. This is a review of the Ninth Doctor Adventures, I guess Season 2, Box Set 1, however you want to describe it. Is this what I recommend? There's a lot to recommend it and a lot to recommend against it. I'm going to go through it. I'll tell you my take on it. I'm glad I got this set. I think I'm gonna get the next one, but only just because there's some things in it that are very good, and there's some things in it that are not so much. So anyway, so I'm gonna go over everything. You decide for yourself. You decide. I mean, listen, I do quite a number of negative reviews about Big Finish, and I absolutely love Big Finish. Right? I really, genuinely, absolutely love Big Finish. So I'm not looking forward to not giving glowing reviews, because that's really what I want to do. Is just, I also got to be honest, right? I also got to tell the truth. Want to, right? I also want to tell the truth. So, you know, that's we got that dichotomy going. Fine. Before we get into this review, can you hit the like button, share button? Oh, share is actually really big now. YouTube's changed their algorithm that they like the share button more than anything else. I'm like, okay, I guess that's where we're going now. If you could, that'd be great. Like button especially. Subscribe. Oh my God, you know, it's incredible. You can really tell the millisecond they turn off the throttling and they turn it back on, right? I turned on my I opened up my phone. What was it? Last was it Saturday night after being offline for the Jewish Sabbath, and so my subs had like boom, really jumped and then just hang solid there and go down and up and down and up and down and up and down and up over and over and over and over and over and over and over again ever since then, for like over a week now. It's just the throttling is so freaking obvious. So if you can hit the subscribe button, that really helps. If you're on Rumble, thank you. It'd be great if we could all just migrate over to Rumble. That would really work well for me. I would very much like that. Thank you very much. Thank you. But it's one of those requests I don't think is going to happen. The new Doctor Who. Shooty Gutwa. Every time I see his name, I got the N. I can say S for the N. Okay, that's fine. But whenever I see the C, I want to say the C. So I keep going out saying Scooty Gutwa, right? And I will learn it, right? It'll take me time. Right? I will learn it. I'm really quite excited about it. That's a whole other topic of conversation. But I will learn it. But if you could change the name to Scooty, that'd be great, right? That would really, really, really save me a lot of time and trouble, right? I would very, very much appreciate all of those things happening. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Fine. Like, share, subscribe, comment, Substack, sign up my Substack, sign up my paid Substack. Man, I got to buy a new computer. Yeah, sign up my Substack. That'd be awesome. And sign up for the free one. That's also awesome. Thank you. I very much like you being awesome. What else is awesome? Well, I don't know. I mean, is this release of the Ninth Doctor back to Earth awesome or not? Okay, so here, let's talk about the good in it. The performance is universally excellent. I mean, right, there's not a duffer in the whole one. They all really commit and they all do their job very, very well, especially Eccleston. Eccleston is very much in his groove right now. He finally worked out what he's doing with the Doctor, and it's so sad. He didn't really understand it until he got to Moffat's two-parter, and then he's like, "Oh, this is the character," right? Which is why there was this weird character development on screen. That the end of the series, he was well, not weird. I think very good character development on screen. So the end of his 2005 series, it was he had grown and become a different person, right? And I really, really like that. So where this fits in is somewhat confusing into the chronology, if this is an important thing to you, because he feels more like a later 2005 season Eccleston, but they're saying this all takes place before it. My theory is this, right? My theory is this, that Rose takes place at a number of times. I think there's a couple of instances where he vanishes, right? He might be gone for ages. But also, I think there's some other points in the season, like in between stories, where he might have gone off on his own. So that's how I'm putting this together in my head canon. So the performances, excellent, really excellent. The direction, excellent. I mean, Helen Goldwyn is the director on set. She's really developed a voice. She's really developed a strong, identifiable voice, and it's really good. She's really doing a great job. However, the motivations behind a lot of the storytelling choices are hurting, right? Are absolutely hurting this box set, and they talk about the motivations very, very openly in the making of. So, a general niggle of mine is, as I was listening to this, we have 3 stories. They're all somewhat about. They're all a little bit sapphire and steely. The first and third one, definitely very sapphire and steely, dealing with time as in a abstract fashion, and like there's not a linear time, right? and it works quite well. The middle story they could have also done something, but the last story they're basically dealing with, the Doctor's dealing with the fallout from the Time War, and that really should have been the umbrella for the whole set, right? He could have found the thing that's causing the problem in the first story. Second story, with a tiny bit of rewriting, really could have made that problem connected to that issue. And the third story is about the resolution of that issue. And I think that would have been just a stronger overall arc for him, right? I think that would have worked a lot better. So let's look at the individual stories. So. This is the first story. Time and again, the Doctor finds himself returning to his favorite planet. It's the thing, saying back to Earth. It just seems a very lazy, right? It seems like a very lazy approach to this storytelling, right? And there's so many more interesting things I think could have been done. Time again, Dr. finds himself returning to his favourite planet, dropping in on history or on present day, whether it's kings or commuters or ordinary people who they've never met anybody who wasn't important. And I love that about this Doctor, right? I love this. I mean, it's such a definitive line of the excellent Doctor. What was it? 900 years in time and space. I never met anybody who's not important. I mean, it's great. I mean, other than lots of planets over and all. You know what? I like Eccleston's Doctor. I'm always happy to get more Eccleston. So this first story, Station to Station, written by Robert Valentine. It's not the best story on the disc, on the set, and it's a pretty. I will give this story 6.5 to 7 out of 10. Right? It's a pretty darn good story. However, there's a couple of things that really stick out on it, like a sore thumb. A deserted railway station, which instantly puts your mind to Sapphire and Still, right? A deserted railway station platform can be the loneliest place on planet Earth. But when Saffron is stranded in Underbridge Station, she meets echoes of the past and a fellow lost traveller, and the Doctor knows that something is hunting them. So yeah, again, this was a good kind of like creepy, interesting story. There's a couple of things that I think I found very, very present day that was just it pulls you out of the fantasy of it, out of the fiction of it, and it also, I think it's bad. I think it's like an evil thing. So the first one isn't. The first one is this main character, Saffron. Great. By the way, fantastic performance, right? Genuinely great actress. I think she did a great job. Christopher Eccleston talks on in the making of it, as he said it was great being in studio, because he said he got to meet the actress who plays Saffron. I sat and talked to her. We looked into each other's eyes. I'm like, oh, that's a bit heavy. But yeah, you can tell that in the performance. It really plays off. But she plays a character who's going to tell her parents that she's about to get married, and she's worried about it. Why is she worried about it? Because it's Big Finish, and she Big Finish, like in literally every other Big Finish play for the last several years. If you have a sympathetic character that the audience is supposed to relate to in this like companion-esque type of role, they're clearly gay, right? So they're clearly gay. Now, I don't mind seeing gay and lesbian people on TV, right? And that would be strange to not like that. I do mind only seeing gay and lesbian people in my media, and it's so predictable and so boring. I'm sorry, the percentage of people who are gay is very low, right? It's a very small percentage. So it seems weird that 100% of the characters are always gay, right? And so, afterwards I'm listening to the making of, and she's like, and Helen Goldwyn, the director, is saying, Big Finish is so into and finds diversity and inclusion so very, very important. No, you don't, right? No, you bloody don't. This is just absolute insanity. I mean, gay people don't need your help, right? Gay people don't need you to normalize them. Gay people were fine, and also people who weren't white were fine up until 2015, right? Up until 2015, 2016. What I think really happened was this, right? And I genuinely, this is what I think. And if you're not of this point of view, let me know. You let me know what you think. This is what I think happened is Obama was a very, very bad president, right? He did a very bad job. If you're younger, this will be blowing your mind. Like, no, that can't be. No, I was there. He was awful, right? He was awful. He caused this this incredible decline in America, but much more. He also caused Brexit. He was ISIS proliferation was a direct result of very, very stupid decision making and I think he's a smart guy, Obama, right? A direct result of very, very stupid decision making made, which forced this massive. I think the biggest migration in the history of our species, right? So we had this massive group from a really different culture into Europe. They went running, screaming from ISIS, quite rightly so. They're freaking insane, right? So they came screaming into Europe, and the culture, Iraqi Iraqi herdsman's culture is not like your average European culture. There is no pluralism there, right? There's no pluralism in the Arab world in general. It's not morally okay for a woman not to wear a hijab, for example. It's not morally okay to be gay, right? That's why it's outlawed in most bloody Arab countries. So that happened, and it basically caused an absolute disaster, right? Which I think was the factor that caused Brexit to happen, the absolute factor that caused Brexit to happen, and the absolute factor that caused Donald Trump to be elected. Just the absolute failure of very left-wing policies, right? So Helen Goldwyn, along with the entirety of the Big Finish production team and the entirety of the entertainment media, has no diversity at all. And if you do not join the group thing, right, you are booted out. And if you don't agree with that, just ask Gareth Roberts. Just ask any of the many people who don't have the right political opinions to be included in making Big Finish Doctor Who. And it's. And I don't think they're doing it maliciously, right? I don't think they're doing it maliciously. I just don't think they can cope with the idea that their politics, that they're very, very dedicated to, is an absolute failure, right? Is an absolute deep failure. So they have to convince themselves that the Western world is deeply, deeply bigoted. And we hate gay people there, and we hate black people, and we hate women. No. It was just the politics that you believed in really failed, right? I mean, listen, not compared to today. I mean, Biden compared to Obama. Obama was awesome. Compared to Biden's like a disaster. That's why the world's on fire and blowing up, right? But, this idea that gay people need your help to be seen, they don't. They absolutely, and I'm not saying, oh, hi, gay people. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that your overemphasis on this, I think, says more about you than it does about it says more about who you're trying to help. And I think who you're trying to help is yourself. I think you're like every other and universally white, liberal, Guardian reading, lovey, right? And you're doing it to please yourself, to make yourself feel virtuous, right? And it does draw you out of the narrative, and it's kind of tragic, right? It's kind of tragic that happens, because it's a pretty darn good one, right? And the other thing about that really annoyed me was there's a really insidious thing going through current day media, trying to teach kids not to trust their parents. Your parents are bad. Your parents are bad. Parents are intolerant. Parents are bigots. Now, I'm sorry. Your parents, generally speaking, love you. Right? Your parents, generally speaking, have your best interests, except in very rare cases, have your best interests in heart. So let's say you're a kid who comes home from school and thinks, like so many cases that I've heard said, I think I might be trans, right? I think I might be trans, and they want to go on puberty blockers or do all kinds of things. And there, people like Helen Goldwyn, Dick Briggs, all of them act like it's settled science. It's settled science that if one perceives themselves to be not as their body is, their perception is more important than their physical reality, right? And it's just not. And I think it's just not, and will cause actual real damage, right? So most of the time people are live and let live. People are like, I'll let my kids do what they want, it's their life. If you see a kid about to amputate his arm, you're not gonna go for that nice, go for that quietly. That's because you love it. And so we have this push in media that really has a large section of entertainment media wants to influence people to embrace anything other than heterosexual sexuality, right? And honestly, I think it's coming from a good place. I think it's coming from a place that they don't want people who are gay, who are trans, to feel maligned, which is okay, but in doing so, they're not representing reality, and their entertainment gets much weaker. So, but anyhow, this idea that your parents are not in the bag for you, even if they disagree with you, right? You need to think this through, and I really think it's a really sick, dangerous thing in society that's going on. Again, you're doing it for the best of reasons, but I really, that really bothered me, right? That really bothered me. In an otherwise perfectly serviceable story, right? Not the greatest, not the worst, but it depends how you feel about it if you think this release is for you. So the second story on this is The False Dimitri by Sarah Grochala. Moscow 1605. The old Tsar is dead, but some blame unnatural forces. Perhaps a mysterious doctor in the palace can help. Successor advances on the Kremlin with an army preparing the country for war, but the Savarich Dimitri Dimitri is not what he seems. So this is a sci-fi historical. And this one, I think, really fails, because if you're going to do something based in historical fact, you've got to do one or two things, in my mind. You've got to either make it something that people vaguely know about and flesh it out, right? If you want to talk about things that you learn in school, like Mary Celeste, and you flesh it out. But things that people, generally speaking, don't know, which is this Tsar... Azari Russian history, which Sarah Grochala says in the making of, that she's really fascinated with it. She's really interested in it. I've never heard of it before, right? So if you're looking at period of history you've never heard before, then you need to be brought into it and emotionally attached to it. And I just don't think the script has the skill to be able to do that. Like, this didn't do it for me anyway, right? It wasn't a bad story. Great performances, great direction, but it was a weaker script. Yeah, definitely a weaker script that didn't sell it to me. Right, didn't sell it to me. And the first story, Auld Lang Syne, brilliant. Freaking awesome, right? And they always do these on these sets. You have an okay story, a crappy story, and one awesome story. They do that very often, right? Very, very often. But I absolutely adored this story, right? So every December, Mandy Litherland gathers a family on the Folds at the Folds house to see in the new year. Not everyone appreciates their efforts, and at least the caretaker seems friendly. If a little weird, caretaker of school, says the doctor. Mandy hopes she'll see him again next year, but perhaps she already has. So this is, again, a really interesting story dealing with a temporal effect or a fallout from the Time War. But why it really, really works and really, really fits into the Eccleston era, it's all about family and a genuine family and family interdynamics and how families work together. And I found it really quite beautiful, right? I really genuinely did. They end with a song, right? And I normally hate that sort of stuff. I absolutely I thought it was lovely, right? Lovely. And again, the way they tie it in the Time War, I think they missed a real trick not tying all three stories into that, like Fallout from the Time War. That would have been, I think, much more compelling, and they probably would have sold more copies as well, right? It's because that's the sort of buzzword that people like, right? But Old Lang Syne, a great script, absolutely great, very, very clever script, great performances by Eccleston and the rest of the guys. Wendy Craig's back in it. I love Wendy Craig, and she's great in this as well. Real emotion, real emotion, real depth. And just great direction. So that one's a real winner. That one is a real winner. Without that, I don't think I would be buying the next box set. But I really am now, because they keep stringing me along, right? They keep stringing me along. So there you go. Is it for you? I've described it for you as well as I can, right? I've described it for you as fully as you decide if it's for you or not. Honestly, I think it's probably worth it on the strength of the performances alone and seeing him more excellent. I really didn't like the very, very boring same-sex marriage theme. Just boring and stupid, right? I really didn't like that, and I hated much more the parents being bad. It's just I think that just bothers me, right? That when I see what companies like Disney and going on in schools in America are doing to destabilize family units, it's not good. It's not good. I think it's genuinely evil and will cause genuine pain. Sometimes your parents will say things that you don't like, right? Sometimes it's not bad hearing things that you don't like. Sometimes people tell me things they don't like, and I'm very glad that they told them to me. Because, sometimes you need to hear them, but almost always, these things always come from love. And they keep talking about how horrible parents are to children, right? They won't accept them. You can see it flips the other way. The children aren't accepting the parents either, right? I think this is just bad news. I think it's bad news, and I don't think it's done for bad reasons. I just think it's generally speaking bad news, and I really don't like it. I really don't like it. So you decide if this box set's for you. I love Big Finish, and I hope you buy it. Right? I hope you buy it. I hope they stay in business. I hope they do well. The relaunches of all the Doctor Who ranges so far have been absolutely fantastic. So, I do think Big Finish has somewhat turned a corner. Fine! My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet! Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.